Okay, welcome to the video section of my animation tutorial that I've been building. Hopefully you've been following the written portion up to this point as it runs over how to actually get all the assets you need converted, ready to be imported into 3ds Max, how to get them from Skyrim, and then finally how to import them and freeze the models so that way you don't have to worry about clicking on the model by accident. One of the things you'll see me do periodically is switch between these two views. The hotkey for this is Alt-W if you don't know it. The primary reason I'll be doing this is to go into this wireframe view so I can grab a specific bone because they're kind of hard to keep track of under a model. Alright, so first thing we need to do is import the animation. I'm going to be doing the run backwards, because as I was going through the hunger, I noticed a little discrepancy at about frame 25. Notice how its hand just kind of goes into the leg. It's like, yeah, we don't want that. I don't know what's up with the loincloth. I'm not even going to worry about it. But yeah, we don't want that. And unfortunately, doing this via forward kinematic would be kind of annoying. But first things first, we need to check something. So select everything, with the exception of the model because you can't. Pull up the dope sheet and expand NPC root. You should notice that this end note is not at the end of the animation. Or we need the end of the animation to be where the end note is. So to amend for this, pardon me, my scroll wheel is still being screwy. Alright, we're going to right click on play animation and knock it down a single frame. The frame count. This is something to do with the NIF plugin for 3ds Max. I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's shoddy at best. Also not 100% sure why it's sitting right there. Don't worry about all the other keys being sitting in weird positions. That'll be fine by the end of it. Alright, but we have this arm issue. Are we going to fix this? We're going to use an inverse kinematic constraint. Now, there's a lot more you can do with these than what I'm going to do with it. But this is just a basic tutorial. Alright, so we need to clear out the frames on the, I believe this is the hand bone. Yeah, right hand, right forearm. You might notice something weird with the naming. When I select what would normally be the clavicle, it is in fact the right upper arm. Now we're just going to remove all the frames, or all the keys from those bones. Grab the right hand. Again, not actually the hand. Animation, IK solvers, and IK limb solver. We're going to go up to the clavicle. And select that. And now we have our inverse kinematic constraint. Now we're going to bounce back over here. You notice we have this object just kind of sticking out of the wrist. Now let's make that a bit bigger. We can actually scale these. Now it's much easier to click on. Alright, now what this will allow us to do, if you don't know what these do already, is I can just grab this and move everything around. It can be kind of a dick because it's kind of it can be kind of difficult to change the angle at which the elbow is pointed at, but we're not worried about that right now. We're just covering the basics. Alright, so we have the beginning of our animation. We're gonna put Max into set frame mode, or set key mode. We're at the beginning of the animation. Okay, so we want the hand to be back right now. Set key. right now. Evidently we want it to be like forward. We'll adjust the hand here in a second. I'm not the best at walk cycles, by the way. And then we'll just duplicate the starting frame for the end frame. All right, let's get that hand adjusted. All right, back to this view again. We need the right hand bone again. Again, normally would be the forearm. All right, we want to put it into rotation mode. Key that frame. So as it's getting pulled back, we want to just like rotate it like this. I chose this animation because I knew I could actually pump it out rather quickly. And again, we pick the start frame. And we let that cycle a couple times. See how it looks. Yeah, okay. I'm content with this. Just for basics. Alright, now we pull it out of set key mode. Alright. Now a couple things need to happen next. First, we need to bake the animation. Now, we already know that the frame count is in fact 33 frames long and the last frame is 32. If you noticed earlier that the frames were all offset weirdly in the dope sheet, don't worry about that. We're going to select everything, go to the motion panel, go under trajectories. Start frame is 0, end frame is 32 in this particular case. And the samples we want is n+1 from the end frame. So that'd be 33 samples. Go ahead and collapse position and rotation for everything. Now we have this nice equal distribution throughout the entire thing. We can now grab this and delete it. And now the motion is in fact baked in. Alright. Now to go about exporting it, which I'll do in the tutorial for shits and giggles, and then do it in the text one as well. So if you want to go back to the text because that works better, go ahead, just close this window. But we're going to save as. Alright, we're in here. We're going run backwards.hkx. And we need to save it as a 3ds Max 2010 version. There's a reason for this. Alright, now we're going to hit save. Close this window. Ignore all the stuff I had open. God damn it, Skype. Alright, programs, modeling. We need to open up 3ds Max 2010. I kind of wish I swapped up my background before doing this. I'm actually not the biggest Parasite Eve fan in the world. On the other hand, I also wish I had a decent monitor. It would make life so much easier. To anybody who doesn't have 2010 installed already, I recommend uninstalling your 2012 before installing 2010 and then reinstalling your 2012. 2012 has a habit of, or 2010, installing an older version has a habit of breaking stuff. Alright, we're going to go to E, underscore temp, meshes, actors, Hag Raven, and run backwards. I assume you installed the Havoc Content Tools 2010.2 because we're actually about to use that. Up in the main bar, there's the Havoc Content Tools. We're then going to go to Export. Alright, so we have Create Skeletons. Now, this is just what I was using before. We're actually going to go change that up because it doesn't like having these really complex different directories for the files. It wants everything to stay rather centered. So like right now that is actually on drive C. It does not like that. So there's two files that got spat out when we ran the dump list function. Yeah, these are actually text files that just contain a list of bones within the skeleton, which is what we want. So we're going to rename skeleton out 1.hkx to skeleton out 1.txt. Yes, I want to change it. Select that. And alright, now we have our list of bones populated. Looks nice, all fancy like. Alright, going to create animation. I believe I left everything as was. Spline compression, crank it up all the way to high so that way it's lossless. Loop animation is something you want to play with when you're making loop animations like the walk cycle. I'm going to have it blend the first and last 3 frames. Prune types. This is where it gets important because you have to prune all scene data, skeletons, bone attachments, identify binding indices, mesh bindings, ragdoll, and mappers under environment data, and all resource data. You can't have any of that stuff here. And then right to platform, just leave this as // that means it's going to dump the final animation wherever you had your file that's open. So where my Hagraven base animation is, and we're going to go ahead and do run backwards .hkx. We want a pack file and win32msvc. All right. Once this is all set up, we're going to hit Run Configuration. Oh hey, look at that, a bunch of errors. This is to be expected. What you have to do to prevent these is close out of this, say yes, save your changes, select all the bones, go under Animation, Bone Tools, Reset Stretch, and Reset Scale. Close that, go back up to Export, run the configuration again, and a couple finger bones really aren't going to break the animation. Alright, once that's done, you can then close out, go ahead and save your changes to this file. Hi lag, how you doing? And there's my run backwards.hkx. It will work in game, and, well yeah, that's it. That's how you export it. One thing I forgot to mention, let's just go pull up the Hunger Base again real quick. Gotta love how my 3DS is broken. Can't believe I forgot to mention this. Whatever, Hunger Base, I don't really care. Okay, so we have the NPC combo. You're supposed to be able to move this around, but as you can clearly see, that's not how it works. To actually be able to do this proper, go into Bone Tools, you want to disable Bone on it, which becomes a problem when you're doing the reset stretch, reset scale, because when I go to do that with Bone off on that one bone, everything's grayed out. Just go ahead and double tap that. It works. Also, that is the only bone you can do that on. You are only allowed to grab the NPC bone and move it around. None of the others. I really wish I could edit this video and shove that segment at the front, or before I was doing that. Alright, well, there's that. Time to go upload this to YouTube.